2, 1.
You are listening to The Rowbo Show, only on WXRW 1041, Milwaukee's River West Radio. It's The Rowbo
Show. Hey, you are listening to The Rowbo Show. This is Mark Rowbottom on WXRW 104.1 FM. And good evening, River West. So you're tuned in to The Rowbo Show. And tonight we're talking about something that's changing everything in music. How songs are made, how artists get paid, and honestly, what even counts as real anymore. I think we're going to hit that pretty hard. So, joining us is Joe Morales, owner of Elf Tree Publishing. Joe's published 20 Rowbo shows with me. Welcome to the show, Joe.
How's it going, Mark? Good to be here, man.
It's going good. It's going good. So let's zoom out for a second. Well, first of all, I want to say, Joe, you and I have put 20 shows together.
Yes.
And this is the first one we've ever done together live.
Actually, physically live at the station.
Yes.
It's amazing.
Yeah. So I hope I don't screw it up, man.
You can't. There's no way.
All right. So let's think about our topic. I'm going to set you up here. Right now, the music industry isn't just evolving. It's really splitting into two parallel worlds, I like to say. One side, traditional artists, labels, and publishers, traditional. On the other, AI-generated music, virtual artists, and algorithm-driven production. In fact, AI music is now flooding streaming platforms, tens of thousands of tracks per day, and making up a huge percentage of uploads. So from a publishing standpoint, Joe, are we still in the music business or are we in the data business now?
Well, it's definitely evolving and changing, but we're still in the music business. I think if you're an artist or you're a publisher, you're definitely still in the music business. But it seems like there's a lot of opportunity for people now that didn't traditionally write music and create music that are now able to get into the music industry without having any actual physical, knowledge on how to make music, in a studio or, dude, you mentioned tens of thousands. I saw this, 44% of new music uploads are now AI generated. That's 75,000 tracks per day.
Yeah, isn't that crazy?
That's scary.
Yeah. Well, so let's talk about the AI tools that are making this possible. So, and I know that you and Zav here, our director of the studio, knows about Suno and Udio, and those two platforms can generate full songs, lyrics, vocals, instrumentation in seconds.
Yeah.
And that's all AI generated.
Yeah, you can just hum into, I was at my buddy's place in New York and he kept singing this funny line. He always makes up songs when we're walking around with his dog. And I was like, dude, we should make a song out of that. And so I downloaded Suno. I was kind of against it, but I was like, all right, I saw somebody else do it. I want to just try it. And so I had him sing his little melody into the Suno.
Okay. And
it created this amazing, hilarious song out of what he was just humming in the park. So it does really cool things, like that. But it's also kind of just, I don't know. It's like, what are you going to do with it,
Well, what you're saying is true, that major labels, they're no longer fighting these platforms. They're joining them.
Yeah.
Yeah. So,
which I kind of wish they wouldn't, as somebody who makes music and puts it out on Spotify and things like that, I wish these companies would be a little more proactive about informing their audiences when something's AI. Because I've had AI music on a playlist that I was following just added. People are adding it to their playlists, and so I didn't know that. And I'm not necessarily against it, but if I think I'm listening to authentic artists, like a real person or a band, I don't want to find out, oh, I really love that song, that it's an AI generated song. That's a disappointment,
Well, labels like Universal and Warner have already signed licensing deals with AI companies to monetize the tech, so it's used for songwriting, production, catalog management. AI can assist creativity a lot.
Yeah.
But is it replacing creativity?
Yeah. Well, no, I feel like it's just clouding the waters. You know, it's almost creating a lot of noise. You know, again, this says 85% of streams on AI tracks are fraudulent. So a lot of the streams they're getting from bot farms overseas, and 97% of listeners can't tell if something's AI or not, which is
so that
freaking.
and that brings up like one of the really wildest developments in this AI generated music industry is that they're like take Inga Rose. Have you heard of Inga Rose? No, they're a fully synthetic act that actually topped iTunes charts in 2026. No human performer, all AI.
Just some dude in his basement, just clicking away on
So,
a keyboard.
so I started thinking about that. Who owns the rights?
I believe the person who's even if
The
it's
programmer?
kind of well, it's still a little cloudy. That's where I feel like it's a little scary if you're really all in on AI. You're somebody that's just using these programs like Suno.
Yeah.
You know, if you have a number one hit or a song, I mean, obviously, I think the industry is a little more, the radio industry especially is a little more controlled. You can't just have a song on the radio if it's AI generated. But I know a big push that's allowed songs that would normally not hit the radio or get a lot of attention. You know, they find their way through the woodwork because of viral videos. So if somebody puts a AI song on like a TikTok video that all of a sudden gets, 10 billion streams, that song guaranteed is going to be generating an income, whether it's on the radio or licensing or,
Yeah.
things like that.
So it's like anyone can create a hit artist now overnight.
I mean, if you have the passion to learn that type of creative, output, then I think so. Yeah.
Yeah. So I
Mhm.
mean, is there artistry in that? Is there human artistry in that?
I'm against, as a songwriter, I've been writing music since I was a little kid, and it's something that, I would never. I've always felt like music comes as it's a gift. Like, well, how do I have this gift? How do I know how to make a song? I don't
Yeah.
know, and it just comes to you, and there's ideas that just percolate out of nowhere, and so I feel like there's this weird source connectedness, like to God, or is it whatever it is? I don't know. Is it some frequency? I don't know, but I think there's something about sitting and toiling over the writing and coming up with melodies and lyrics and what do I want to write about? What am I feeling right now? And why would I sit down to even write a song at this moment? Because there's times where I don't write anything and do anything. But I don't know. I think the human element of songwriting is so important, and there's a discipline aspect to that where if you're say you're a young kid that doesn't know how to make music, I can see it being a good tool to get your ideas going.
Yeah.
Like for instance, I have a buddy right now out in LA who he's producing some artists who they're young, they're like teenagers, but they've got wealthy families. They don't know how to make music, but they're using these programs and they're bringing these songs to him, and he's basically listening to the song and then breaking it down in his head. Okay, here's what the drums are doing, here's what the guitars, keys, melody of the vocals, and he's just rebuilding those tracks from his studio. So he's re-recording everything so it's not AI, but these songs are completely AI written. So the artist isn't actually the writer of the song. It's more of a
that goes back to the question: who owns it? I don't get that.
There's probably some fine print somewhere.
The prompt writer.
Yeah.
Nobody owns it. I don't know. Well, let's. I want to talk about fraud because I just found this out. You can Google it. I'm just gonna read. The guy's name is Michael Smith, and Michael Smith used AI generated songs and bots to steal over $10 million in streaming royalties. And I'm guessing that there's some legal action going on regarding that. And I think there's probably some liability on the label side too for letting that actually happen.
Yeah.
And not So,
Yeah, he pled guilty this year for large-scale streaming fraud. But you know what? It seems like it's funny because they're putting a name or a face to the name, or like they found somebody who's doing it.
Someone, yeah.
But there's people doing this all over the place, and I know, as somebody who puts music out, there's so many companies that will charge you as an artist for streams. They're like, we guarantee you all these streams, and for a while it was a lot of fraud. Like you would pay a company, but then they would have a bot farm, essentially boosting your streams and giving you this false sense of listenership, and I feel like that's absolutely wrong to do.
I think there's a lot of misrepresentation in digital marketing too.
Mm-hmm.
That we're going to be, we were getting that with the show. People were reaching out to me about the show. All you got to do is spend $5,000 and we're going to, get you, 1 million people. But
yeah,
I thought that was just interesting. So, fraud schemes now involve fake artists, fake streams, and automated listening farms.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, so what he did was he uploaded massive volumes of AI-generated tracks, and then they ran automated bots to listen 24/7.
Right.
And he created the illusion of real fan activity, which that's kind of it's not just with AI music where that's a problem. A lot of artists are doing that, and I don't know, there's something weird about that to me. I understand the way it looks, so if I go and look up an artist or I meet an artist and I look up their music and I see, oh, they've got 300,000 monthly listeners, 1 million monthly listeners, but if you find out, 80% of those are bots.
Yeah.
How do you view that artist after that? You're sitting there going, that's a false sense of reality,
Everybody's going to view it differently, I think.
Mm-hmm.
I got a text from Carla, a listener. I want you to read it. It's a comment, and then it's a question.
She says, why does Joe look so sexy on the... No. She says, I agree.
That's the radio voice, people.
I use WXRT FM to get my new music that isn't AI generated. Does AI generated music mean that when I add tunes to my Prime music playlist, it may not really be the original artist's work? I hope not. I heard a long time ago that 8 bars, I think, that are the same as someone else's music is infringement. Yes. So I don't know about Prime because I don't use that, and I'm not sure about that. But I do know, as a songwriter, if you used I thought it was 7 bars or 7 notes in succession.
Technicality.
Then then there's a lawsuit. And that, honestly, an interesting fact, if people don't know this, is like most people don't realize is anytime you hear a new #1 song, typically that artist, whoever's song it is, there's like a whole legal battle going on because every #1 song, there's always some lawsuit, and they usually settle the lawsuit because someone somewhere claims that, oh, that was my melody or those were my lyrics, and they usually just settle with those people because they don't want to deal with like a full-on,
Yeah, so they have it just built in the budget. We're going to spend X number of dollars to settle with these crazy people.
Man, I had a buddy. He had a #1 song. I don't want to say what song it is, and it was massive. One of the biggest songs in the world. He was one of, I think, 6 writers or 7 writers on this track, and as soon as it went #1, I mean, it was getting billions of streams on Spotify, just Spotify.
Yeah.
And he himself, his publishing, because he owns his own publishing, he had to pay out like $400,000-$500,000 in this lawsuit just out of his own take from that song. So you can imagine how much money these songs can make when they hit radio and they blow up.
Yeah.
And just so they could settle and not deal with the lawsuit, he just had to pay it out. He had all these attorneys that were like, just do it, just pay it.
Yeah, well, there was a time when attorneys couldn't advertise, and now we're just we're litigate each other to death.
Mm-hmm.
It's ridiculous.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm gonna flip the script. I want to talk about the boat ride that's coming up on WXRW's.
Ooh, yes. Let me put on my shorts real quick.
We have tickets on sale right now for River West Radio's 3rd annual Sunset Gala Cruise. It's on Friday, May 29th. Put it on your calendar. Join us for an evening of food, raffle, prizes, karaoke, Gail and Jim, and celebration on the water. And help support the future of our local independent radio in Milwaukee. River West Radio, we depend on the community support, you guys, and this is one of our biggest fundraisers of the year. And don't miss the boat. Get your tickets now at riverwestradio.com. They are selling. I know I got 2 in my pocket right now that are all paid for. Joe, you were on the ride last year.
It was awesome.
Yeah, and there was a live musician last year. This year we're having karaoke. Mm-hmm. How was it on the boat last year?
It was awesome. It was beautiful. Like we I don't know the exact route they take, but you go through, you're going through downtown, and then you go out on the water and you see the sunset and
the breakwater. Did you go into the Summerfest grounds area?
I think so. I think we went past it.
Okay.
Yeah. There's drinks and food and mingling, and everyone's really cool. Like, I loved it. I had a great time.
Yep. I will be there this year. Joe.
I'm hoping to be there. Yeah.
Okay, cool.
I got to get my tickets.
All right. Yeah. So let's talk a little bit about the legal issues. So copyright, laws are a step behind the AI stuff. It's like AI does something and everybody says, wait a second, we can't allow that.
Yeah.
But it takes a while to get things through legislation.
Oh, I feel like we're in a world where AI will build itself into its own robot body and be running down the street before everyone goes,
not gonna
maybe
happen.
We shouldn't have this.
You're feeding the frenzy. Don't, people. It's not going to end the world. Just stop. My conspiracy theorist partner over there. Okay. So an artist's voice itself isn't fully protected under federal copyright. So my voice is not fully protected. I suppose there is some way to do that. So there is a proposed federal law that no AI fraud would make it illegal. The no AI fraud, I'm sorry, I read that wrong, would make it illegal to replace someone's voice or likeness without AI permission from that person.
Yeah.
So get that passed.
Yeah, I know a lot of actors in Hollywood are starting to, like, big time guys. Like, I don't know if Jack Black is doing it, but I know, like, Tom Hanks, and like they've signed over their voice and their physical face, where if in the future somebody wants to make a Tom Hanks movie in like 40-50 years, they can just use his face and AI generate him.
Wow.
Use his voice. Or for animations. It's
Okay.
pretty wild. Yeah.
Wow, so that's kind of like having yourself out there forever.
I mean, I see how it's valuable for instance, like if the Toy Story franchise, they decided, when he's old or he passes away or something and he can't do it anymore and they still need Woody's voice,
Yeah.
They could literally bring him out of the box anytime they want,
That is cool. There's some states that have laws. Tennessee has the Elvis Act, and that targets unauthorized AI voice cloning. So they got it in place.
That's cool.
Now, this is not a surprise. Texas passed a broad AI governance law regulating harmful uses. Yeah, they're going to shoot you.
Yeah.
Oh, New York now requires transparency from AI developers. Those last two are pretty broad.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if they're actually enforceable. So,
yeah, I know a lot of companies, especially music licensing companies. I work with a lot of companies that, I make music, I get the music to these outlets, and they sync it to commercials, and they put it in places where I would never even know what to do with it. And a lot of them have been emailing and giving updates to all the artists and producers and publishers that submit music to them, new guidelines on AI generated music. And, for a while it was about is using samples, because a big part of the music industry and for producers is, like, if you're producing up a drum track and you need a hi-hat sound, and say your song is, let's just go with 120 BPM. That's the tempo. You could just go on to these programs find a hi-hat at 120 BPM that's hitting the pattern that you're wanting, and you could import that into your song, and so you don't have to hire a drummer to play the hi-hat, or you don't have to build it yourself. You can just use a loop. But now you have to like submit every time you use anything like that, and it makes it harder if you've got a song for anybody to want to use it for licensing, because they're just, a lot of companies are kind of going, no AI, no samples. We just want authentic artists making the music so they can put it.
So I had a question prepared. Do you think audiences care if music is AI generated?
I think they do.
Yeah.
I think the younger generation, maybe not so much.
Yeah.
But older people that, grew up listening to vinyls and 8-tracks and stuff, I feel like there's a deep offense to music at your fingertips, so you can just snap your finger and all of a sudden you have a song that didn't exist 5 minutes ago and now it's a real song.
Do you think AI is lowering the entry barrier to this industry, and do you think it'll eliminate the middle class of musicians?
Yeah, I think it's going to affect everything.
Yeah.
And I know a lot of people have rose-colored glasses with this stuff. I do not. Unfortunately, I do like AI. Like I mess around on it and
I know.
use it
I do
and
too.
look things up.
Yeah.
But as a creative, I don't feel comfortable knowing that there's going to be a lot of deception happening where you don't really know if something's real or not. Or if I go see a film and all of a sudden I hear this amazing song in the film and that was completely made by AI.
Yeah.
It's just a disappointing thing, Like, who's the composer of that? Oh, some guy just typing something. Or at this point, when's it going to be just AI making its own self, where we don't even have a physical person typing in a prompt anymore, And I think we're already there, actually.
Well, let me ask you about, is copyright even sustainable in its current form?
No, it's going to have to evolve.
Yeah,
sure.
I totally agree. So, and that brings another thought. What is ownership in the music industry in 2026? We talked about that earlier.
Well, it's still master owner. Like there's the publishing rights, there's the mastering rights. So the master of an album, like say you make a song in the studio, that song, whoever the final master of that song, the actual audio recording, whoever owns that, they're the ones that have basically the say of what happens with that song. But like a publisher, so say you co-write a song and you could go and re-record the song, your own version of it, even if there's another version out there.
Yeah.
So there's a couple ways you make money on music, but I think as long as you're the one physically making the song and own the rights to it. Now, the fine print on a Suno or something like that, who really owns it when push comes to shove? If they could email you, all of a sudden something goes viral and you could potentially be making millions of dollars, will you, or will someone step in at some point and be like, hey, by the way, you owe us a little cut?
So I want to flip the script again. I want to talk about when you go on the road and you do your music, how you travel. We were talking about that in the back earlier before the show, about how I learned recently that there are set bands or musicians that actually play and create music for sale, but they don't necessarily travel.
Mm-hmm.
They're not the same people that play on the road. It's actually different people in the studio recording.
Yeah.
And then another artist goes out and plays the drums.
Right. Yep.
And you're the keyboard guy.
It's pretty typical. Yeah. They're known as session guys.
Yes.
A session musician.
So you're one of the groupie guys because you go on the road. The session guys are the family men.
Yeah, I'm a touring musician. So it's like, it's typically a lot of guys, and they get paid really well. So if you land a gig.
Well, I got to believe they're the best, too.
Oh, they are the best, yeah.
Yeah.
Typically, yeah. And there's always like a handful of them. I mean, especially in like Nashville or LA, there's like a circulating group of guys that are constantly getting called for records. And they're just, the thing is what happens, and the reason they become these like so well known, and they're not just their talent of being good, they're fast.
Yeah.
So I did a project where we had 2 days to track drums on like 5 songs, and we didn't need 2 days because this guy was able to sit down, listen to the song, and he was charting it out.
Okay.
Once we'd play it through, he'd chart it out. He's like, "Cool, I got it. Yeah, I know." He understands based on the production from the filler drums, because we always, like, if we produce up a track, we give him an idea of what kind of drum sounds we're looking for, or a little bit of a pattern, but then usually let the musician do their thing. But it's just incredible how quickly he works or a lot of these guys work just to get it done quickly.
Right.
Yeah. It's valuable. That's money, man.
Yeah. Well, that's seeing artistry.
Yeah. And it's fun. It's exciting to see somebody.
Professional athlete, only, it's an artist.
Yeah.
At work.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. The thing that I've been watching a lot of the NBA finals, and the thing that constantly blows my mind watching these games is when they're doing fast breaks and the passing and just how split second.
Spot on.
Just to get a ball exactly where you need it for somebody to receive it, or bouncing it off, ricocheting that thing off the floor into someone's hands, like at the right moment. That stuff blows my mind. And I feel like it's that kind of level of,
Never heard that term before, ricocheting the basketball off the floor.
That's what it is. It's like you're pinging it off.
I'll give you that. I'll give you that.
Yeah.
I don't think there's sports radio in your future.
But it's crazy, because if you broke down any play, there's mathematics around it,
Oh, there definitely some geometry to it.
100%.
When they're spinning the ball off of the backboard so that it ends up where they want it to
But
be.
they're just doing it. These guys are just doing it.
It's like pools, when you're playing pool and you put English on it.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. No, they're doing that for sure.
Yeah.
Well, they're the best.
And that's why they're paid so much. And that's the same thing with studio musicians. I was lucky because I thought about, I'd love to just be able to chill and record in the studio and not have to tour. But I really love traveling. Not so much anymore. Airlines and everything doesn't make it as fun. But that was the thing. It was more adventurous to be able to travel to a new city every night and just go explore it the next morning and just walk around and,
Cool. Yeah. Well, thanks for being on the show, man.
Yeah. Are we already? Man, this thing flew.
Yeah. So, anyways, I just want to do kind of a wrap up here. We're kind of headed towards a future where anyone can make music. Not everyone's going to get paid, and it's getting harder to tell what's real. And I think we covered that pretty good today. The big question is whether AI belongs in the music industry, and I don't think that's a big question. I think it's a dumb one. It's already in it.
Yeah, it's here.
So it's here. So who benefits from it? I don't know. But you've been listening to Mark Rowbottom, my guest Joe Morales from Elf Tree Publishing. Thanks for joining us tonight, Joe. Do you have any takeaway on today's show?
I would just always encourage anybody, to just support local artists, support real people.
Oh yeah, love it.
Just do it.
Yeah, no, and that's what we are here at River West Radio. So get those tickets to the 3rd annual Sunset Gala again on Friday, May 29th. They are available. I'm going to be there. Joe, I got to believe you and Gail.
I'm going to get myself there.
Yeah, River West depends on it, man. We need your support. You've been listening to Mark Rowbottom with Joe Morales. This is the Rowbo Show at River West Radio, 104.1 FM, River West, Milwaukee. Thanks for listening. Thanks, Joe. That was really good.
Absolutely.
Yeah, we'll do it again.
We shall.
Yes. Good night.
Thanks for having me.
Thank you for being here. Nice.